morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Shan from CICT, and it is really a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to share something that we are using the digital health technologies in combating coronavirus in China. So uh, this is my slides, and make sure, yes. And as this webinar is open to all and no very specific target audience, so I prepared a very vivid way to share our experience with some digital health use cases. And my contents consist of this three parts. First, a brief introduction of the background, and then some typical ICT cases in this outbreak. And finally, some further discussion and conclusion. So this is the start of the outbreak. You probably know that. And it is about on the December 13th, an unknown virus appeared in Wuhan. And this picture is in our national TV report on the next day. Experts from National Health Committee arrived in Wuhan at that morning. So this is the daily change curve and a serious quick response from Chinese government. And I attached a link of WHO and the China Joint Mission Press Conference on this page. So if you are interested on the details of this picture, you can find more information from that. And during my slides, I just want to say that as the graph shows, you may expect a curve continue climb and as the red line, but we see peaks here actually. So you may ask, how about the situation is going on? Because this graph is only updated on February 20th. So just as it's shown as the blue line explained, as of April 7th, according to the statistics of NHC, the daily confirmed cases are 16.2, and most of them are international friends. So we can say that things are quite under control now. And also we can see that the difference between the red line between the red line and the blue envelope, we can measure that part as the effect of the prevention and control measures. So what does this difference and also the effect comes from, and what is the percentage of ICT in it? The answer, from my understanding, I think digital health plays a very important supporting role, but not the main part. And to be honest, we have to give credit where credit is due, and really appreciate the hard work from the medical staff at the front line. During this outbreak, over 14,000 medical workers from all over the country risking their lives and also saving others' life at the front line. And also the infrastructure workers, they are working day and night during the New Year festival, making a 10-day hospital construction possible. And also the government's quick response from the very beginning and to the home process. And also the manufacturer supporting the medical production, and as well as the community workers and also volunteers. And they're tiny but important actions, just to sum up, to make a huge change to protect the lives around us. So we can say that it is the result of everyone working together. So as a result, I really like the statement from WHO. we must remember that they are numbers. They are not numbers, not just the point on the curve. They are people, living people with the same motivations and feelings like every one of us. So if we see things from that perspective, we will understand the unbelievable hard work and the urgency to take actions as their home community. And as an ICT engineers, we would probably also to have our contributions. And we may start with this question: what kind of contributions that digital health could do? And I think one common answer could be that to make life better. So here the word life in that answer, I think, could be everyone that we have mentioned in our cases that involved the patients, doctors, manufacturer, and construction workers, and citizens, and volunteers, and so on. So as the green part shows, with various available technologies, we can actually play a very positive supporting role in fighting with the coronavirus. So here comes the, I call it magic combination. And we just regroup what we have, the demand and also the gray part of the digital health part. We regroup them as a puzzle. And I think it is a very important way to start with this, just to stick on the application scenarios and to feel the demand, and before we just finding a fancy solution and products. So we would like to use technologies like the magic tool, and we want it to go to where it is in need. So just let me take an example. And from what I have mentioned before, we understand the heavy load of the frontline doctors, and we want to help to ease the burden on patients' treatment. So there could be an assisted diagnosis system with AI, and also the telemedicine based on 5G. And if we want to support the projection of the frontline worker, robots could also be a very good tool to do the delivering and also disinfection work. And meanwhile, the effective production and also dispatching could also be a strong support of the frontline workers. And besides, their case tracking and their statistic platform and also public place sharing could also actively help with the risk assessment and also the risk communication, and to protect the ordinary people, then to reduce their home risk level of their home society. And last but not least, various applications to meet basic living needs could also support the lockdown life, and to make the quarantine life be more easy. So this feature acts as an index of the following use cases that I'm going to share, and I will give you more specific description later. So according to what I have mentioned, the digital technologies are just regroup the orders. And the first case that I want to introduce is telemedicine that based on 5G. And this is a picture that on February 9th, the PLL General Hospital conduct a remote consultation based connected to the first 5G network with Wuhan Emergency Hospital. And we can see that experts stared at the electronic screen in front of them, and the results of patients and of the medical records and also the indicators are uploaded in real time with the high resolution image, and that they are very clear at a glance. And actually, it is a kind of practice that already tested and used in China before the outbreak. And if you are interested in it, you can also search for more news reports that before the outbreak that we have the remote surgery last year. And so that is why 5G and the telemedicine technologies response the coronavirus so fast in China, because it is already tested and used it, and because of the metro mode and the infrastructure possibilities. So we can also see it as a kind of preparation on the digital health part before the outbreak. And this time they also made a little innovation on the terminal. So we call it 5G telemedicine card. And this terminal is removable and could contain some medical supplies below the video. So in the use cases with 5G, experts from both sides, we can see that in the picture, from both sides could share the patient's medical files with high definition image, and it could definitely enlarge the supply of the frontline expertise and also effectively reduce the infection on the medical workers. And besides 5G and telemedicine, AI is also a kind of strong tools could help in this prevention and control of the outbreak. Just take one product as an example, the infrared. There are also actually a topic driver in our AI for Health focus group. And their system takes just a few seconds to process dozens of CT scans and provide support for rapid screening and also give some suggestions to doctors. And this is a general workflow that I always used in our focus group to say something about the AI for Health process. And we can see it from different perspectives. From at the bottom, from the user's perspective, we can see AI as a kind of black box, and that is the structure or non-structured data put inside, and then with the strong computing possibilities, and it fits us with an answer, many based on correlation. So the answer could be some screening result, the diagnosis reference, and also health management suggestions and so on. And also to make the black box be reliable and safe. And we also have another kind of perspective is that in the industry, we also have to do it in the regulation way or regulation to commit the regulation requirement. For example, the benchmark assessment and also the clinical trials. And also a very important part is that the post-market surveillance to help the overall AI system be safe and trusty. So what I have mentioned to diagnose with the coronavirus is just one kind of examples of the AI for health applications. So if you are interested, you're welcome to click our focus group links, and I attached here, and you can find more details. And also, apart from the diagnosis in the clinical line, and AI are also with great potential to support the vaccine development. And you might probably heard about the double trending principles in pharmaceutical industry. That is, say that it's a kind of saying that you should have an average time of 20 years and also an average cost of 2 billion US dollars to develop a new kind of drugs on the market. So this kind of two data are in the industry to emphasize how difficult it is to develop a new drug. And and this picture, what I want to show is that the AI also help with the vaccine development. And this picture is a kind of modeling of some target for the protein sequence of the coronavirus. And it is based on the Alibaba cloud to develop a drug R&D platform and to support the vaccine development of coronavirus. And also, Ma Yun, the founder of Alibaba, also launched a donation of 100 million and opened the cloud computing capacities to support the development of vaccine of coronavirus. And this is the details on the slides. But what I want to mention is that you have to understand AI just help with several steps of the development work, and just for the compound testing and screening. After their discovering of their candidate drugs, you also have to go through what we have mentioned before, their preclinic research, clinic trials, and also to apply for a new drugs, and then get the approval from the regulations. Then you can go to the market. So according to the latest news, China and the US first step into the clinical trial phases. And so we are also very looking forward what is going on next, and hopefully the vaccine could be developed in very soon. So additionally, AI could also help with the public place screening, and especially during the society recovery stage. And the public place screening could be very helpful and important. This picture just show a kind of non-connect temperature dictation system. It could be used in very densely populated areas such as the railway station, the airport, and the building entrance, and etc. And the next page is some process and to of the implement. And I know Ms. Yuan will have more technical details in her presentation, so I'll just skip it and leave in there more details in Ms. Yuan's presentation. And I know the last time our European colleagues also share some tracking and case tracking in use cases on the coronavirus. And in China, CICT, China Telecom, and China Union, and also in China Mobile joined launched a travel card based on their based on their telecommunication data, and to just give you a self-check and also the proof if you have ever been to an epidemic region in the past 14 days or not, just based on the base station data. So it's a kind of the traffic light. For example, if you are no risk, then we give you a green card, and the middle risk, you have a yellow card, and the high risk for a red card. So the analysis on their backend is based on the major three telecommunication operators, and it is a kind of service that provide the individual risk assessment for 1.6 billion mobile phone users across the country, and it is a kind of one clinic. Clinic inquire of the countries and also religions that you have visit within the 14 days to give you a proof and also the risk assessment result. And for the fifth cases that I want to share is about the medical material dispatching. So, so this picture is that on February 1st, Premier League came to check the national key medical material dispatching platform on the public production and also the dispatching of the protective stuffs. And we also have a platform that developed it by MIT, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. And on that platform, we have 21 categories of their key medical supplies. And most importantly, we have the function of the monitoring on the production capacity and also the scheduling and also the output of all kinds of the medical supplies. And also beside that part, that platform, CICT also developed a posting platform at the very beginning of the outbreak, and with that platform that I have showed in the slides, you can post the demand information and also the supply information as well as your contact to just dock the supply and demand of the digital health resources. And this platform is also approved by the Joint Defense and Control Mechanism of the States Council. So the products that you could posting and includes the medical protections, softwares, and solutions, intelligent devices, equipment, and also what we have mentioned like Alibaba, the computing capacities and so on. So this is the virtualization of this kind of digital health resources, supply and demand platform. And also the risk communication is another very important use case that I want to share. So no one is safe until everyone is safe. So during this outbreak, just to be transparent in time and accurate to let everyone receive the right knowledge to protect themselves is very important. So take the National Health Committee website, for example. It acts as the authority channel to daily update the statistic data and also promote the protection knowledge and clinical strategies. And also we also have a phone page that embedded in WeChat and developed by Lin Xiangyuan. And you know, during the lockdown day, my daily routine is to check for the real-time updates of on that platform, and we can see the curves and also the maps and also related technology, also related knowledge on that page. And as far as I know, they also developed an English version to support the global rescue. And for the 7 use cases that I want to share is about the multifunction robots. So this is a picture that a kind of medical robots that officially used in Wuhan emergency hospital. So with the function of disinfection and also delivery, and it can reduce the workload of medical staff and also the risk of cross-infection in hospital. So actually, there are also other kinds of examples of the robots. For example, the temperature measuring, the disinfection, and also the deliverable robots in different shapes and developed by different countries. And we can also see the applications of robots in our daily life before the outbreak. But during this very special period, the role of the robots has been greatly amplified and also recognized by public. And finally, this is the last use cases that I want to mention. Is about the various living applications that to support the lockdown on life for most of people. And for example, the online consultations, online shopping, and online educations works, and also psychological invitations and so on. So this is just a few examples that I have it in this page. For example, the community entering and exit restriction system, and also the online consultations, and also you can have your takeaway to order your takeaway online, including the glossaries, and also some teleconference, and also the online educations to make you able to work from home and study from home, and also some other entertainments that based on the digital technologies. So that is all use cases, the detailed use cases that I want to share in my speech. And if you are interested in more, CICT actually published a kind of best practice on the digital health cases in coronavirus. And from now, we have over 170 cases in our reports, and will be continually updating in our website, and there's the English version of the best practice reports is on the way. So for the last part that I want to say is that we are not limited and just willing to do a limited part of research on just the use case, is the perspective or use cases. We also want to monitor and evaluate the effects and the course of different digital technologies. And so in that way, we believe we can have more valuable experience that we could share to different countries. So then they can, based on our experience, to pick what is the suitable way and the strategy for them to to fight with the coronavirus. So for this part, we as a start, we designed a questionnaire on the monitoring and evaluation part. So we will be very appreciate if you can share some information from your side and to give us some input in this questionnaire. And also you're welcome to connect me if you are interested in the evaluation part. So this is the summary page. First, I want to say that digital health will not be the main contributors in combating coronavirus, but it could play a very important supporting role on the control and prevention work. And for the second part, I share some digital health use cases. For example, the telemedicine, AI for health, and the platform on the medical material dispatching, and also the risk communications, and also robots, as well as some digital living applications to support most of people's life. So more details you could find in our CICT best practice report. And for the last part, and we want to share a reproducible experience for other countries. And we realize the importance on the monitoring and evaluation of the effectiveness of different digital health cases. So we will be very appreciate if you have some input and also some comments on that part, also as well as the questionnaires. So at the last, I want to thank Ms. Xu Weiling, Ms. Liu Rui, Ms. Zhang Xueli, Ms. Ming Dong, Ms. Wang Yapeng for reading the first version of my slides and giving important guidance, as well as I want to thank for the cases and data supporting from Ms. Liu Yifei and other colleagues from CIACT, as well as continued supporting from Dr. Luo Zhong and the study group of 16 of ITU. And also thanks to Ms. Gordon Gawley and Dr. Gordon Gawley and Ms. Chen Mengji from WHO China office to provide very valuable suggestions on our research. And most importantly, thanks to ITU giving me the opportunities to share this information and also to further discuss with you. So thank you for listening. That is all of my slides. Thank you.
So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Yuan Zhang from China Telecom Machine Vision Standardization and Strategy Department. I'm the rapporteur of Question 12, Study Group 16, and also the co-chair of MPEG Video Coding for Machines ad hoc group. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to share some of our work in the COVID-19 combating. And let me share my slide. And Shen has just made an impressive presentation of the pandemic combating. We have some similar work and also joint work with CICT as well. I'll continue to introduce our work in the perspective of the telecommunication operator. So my talk includes 3 parts. First, our role in pandemic combating, and then observations and facts, and then the measures that we have taken. Shen has just gave a thorough background and timeline about the outbreak in China. I'll skip this part. So now we are facing a global crisis, an unexpected test for humankind. It's a test for our healthcare system, our society, our humanity, and of course our telecommunication systems, as people are locked down or quarantined. And we are trying different approaches to pass this exam to survive. The decisions that we made in this period of time will contribute to the reshaping of the world for years to come. Things are different among countries, although we are in different battles, but we are in the same war. It's against the time and the virus. So we just try to take the most effective methods in most efficient way, trying to balance the trade-off. So I hope our experience will be of use as China went in this first. What role do we play in this pandemic? We are no doctors or nurses, no policymakers, so we are not in the front line in this. As a telecommunication operator, our advantages, first of all, rely on our telecommunication infrastructure. We have more than 1 million 4G base stations and 75,000 5G base stations and about 170 million broadband subscribers. And also we have a close link to our customers. We're still providing on-site, on-spot service during the pandemic. And our goal is to transform technology into capabilities for continuous work, study, and lives, and also the epidemic prevention during this pandemic to tens of thousands of households. As a big company, we will shoulder the social responsibility by providing infrastructures and services both for healthcare and for quality of lives. So based on this, our role and our mission, we take measures accordingly. Next, I will share some of our observations and facts. I looked into our statistic data in February. The requirements for remote application are increasing. Regarding business-to-business services, the most visible ones are remote video applications. Among all of the emergency applications, the top two are healthcare and education-associated applications. For example, the hospital information system, online schooling, and we have launched the cloud conferencing product on January. Within 1 month after launching, we have got more than 700,000 subscribers, which is 22 times growth comparing to data before pandemic. And regarding 5G applications, we have supported the live cloud overseers, which is an interesting project. I will talk about that later. And the telemedicine, as Shen has just introduced. And the top business to customer services are online education and telecommuting. So this is our first observation, which seems obvious. And let's look at the second one. The network flow is increasing. We can see from the statistics here that the wireless and broadband network flow are both increasing about 20%, but the QS didn't drop. Then you might want to ask, what approaches did we take? As the data transfer speeds and download speeds did not slow down, and everyone can still access to the internet via smartphone just as well, even in Wuhan city. So what did we do? The stay-at-home policy will definitely add to network congestion. I've learned about that the mobile operators from some countries have asked users to reduce their data consumption, and also there are some novel ideas such as providing 4G signal from a high-altitude balloon, which is very interesting, and also asking the bit streaming services such as Amazon, YouTube, to reduce the quality of videos to free up the capacity, and also some countries grant its networks additional radio spectrum on a temporary basis. But we didn't take those approaches. I try to give some explanation here through comparison. We don't have significant drop of QS for 4G, LTE, IPTV, short messages, etc. The reason is simple. We could take a look at the figure in the table. The total broadband subscribers in China until last August is more than 400 million, and the fiber to home subscribers also exceeds 400 million, and broadband subscribers with bandwidth more than 100 megabit per second is about 350 million. So what does this say? It means that the peak level of data consumption did not come close to the limit of the broadband network. So we have advantages in optical access networks and fiber to home deployment. The persistence effort to build network has been paid off. China Telecom is continuously enhancing our broadband access bandwidth. 100 megabit bit per second is the baseline bandwidth now. And the bandwidth more than 100 to the home accounts for about 80%. I'm not saying that we took no measures. We have constructed base stations and also optical networks in certain regions, especially in Wuhan, to increase the capacity. And there's one more thing to be noted, that QS does not only depend on the access network bandwidth, but also the bandwidth of backbone. So the QS at night is not not as good as daytime because the traffic during nighttime is easily congested, especially for the international gateway. And there are some other facts and observations based on statistics on February that roaming users and data volume are dropping due to the travel restriction and risks. And volume of short messages is decreasing, which has been a trend as IM applications are booming, except for public services short messages. A lot of short messages are sent about COVID-19 by different platforms or applications. And there are increasing need for VPN remote access. As a result, safety requirements are surging. Although we didn't stop on-site service, there is a need for service online. And there are growing need for CDN with the requirements of 19.5 peak value of 3 terabyte and total flow of 45 petabyte. And virtual cloud server requirements and use ratio of the resources has increased. And the cloud computer is developing and wanting to use. Blowout of remote applications with novel requirements. Most of them are now new inventions, such as not new inventions such as remote conferencing, but during work at home, we found that the function of beautifying and clothes changing would be very helpful. As maybe we would like to have the function of clothes changing while we work at home and maybe in bed. And there are a lot of products and solutions which are the integration of capabilities to better serve the requirements and effectively. And China Telecom has developed more than 70 new applications for different regions and industries. And I will introduce some of them in the next part. So the third part, measures that we have taken. The miracles, just Shen mentioned that we have built a hospital in 10 days. There's something more I could talk about. Instead of 1, we built 3. The Huoshanshan Hospital, Huoshanshan Hospital, Leishanshan Hospital, and the Special Hospital for Women and Children, all in Wuhan City. And we were building them on cloud. I mean, all the medical systems and the information systems are deployed on cloud. They are the first hospitals on cloud in China. The whole construction took 10 days, but we only took 3 days to deploy the network and cloud resources. So what's on cloud? It's normal to have the auxiliary information systems on cloud, but the Huoshanshan and Leishanshan Hospital are applying the all-on-cloud solution. The major business and information systems are the hospital information system, HRS, laboratory information system, LIS, and picture archiving and communication systems, PACS. They are all on cloud, and so are the operation management, resource management, knowledge management, customer service, including the queuing system and all databases. The measures we took are that for one hospital, we have 7 dedicated cloud servers to support the service and applications, and we deployed the same type of services in different underlying servers, physical servers. We designed a host and backup database and backup the data timely to make sure the availability and reliability. The benefit of this hospital on cloud that IT maintenance in local is reduced. We only need to dock and test in the given environment. And also the deployment of all healthcare applications are accelerated. We could simply duplicate the solution. Actually, we did the Huoshanshan first, and then we copied the solution to Leishanshan Hospital. And we could expect that it could be shared among hospitals in future. It's a potential standardization area with common interfaces and data formats. Systems and data could be shared under certain rules in future. And an interesting thing about this, we have launched a 24-hour high-definition live broadcast of the construction of the two hospitals. The highest peak of online users exceeded 100 million. It is, according China, the strongest cloud supervision, cloud overseers project in history, and it's based on 5G network and our cloud platform. While people are quarantined at home and cheering up for workers on site remotely, we might have a new record here. Another major application is the track querying app, which provides the individual subscribers with functions include regional risk query, epidemic situation forecast query, return to city report query, itinerary, and content query. And on the basis of ensuring user privacy and safety, it conducts real-time perception of the flow of people in key epidemic areas with cooperation with relevant provinces, and can also provide interfaces to other stakeholders while cooperating and supporting CICT on the case tracking and modeling app. It gets people's location and analyzes the people flow in key epidemic area, such as fever clinics and people gathering areas, to provide open and transparent data and dispel the unnecessary fear of the epidemics. About 20 billion signal data and billion data were processed every day, covering all 2G, 4G, 3G users. Until the end of last month, there are 70 million query records. The track query analyzes the information such as the cities and countries that the user has passed or stayed within 14 days through historical data. So people can query potential risk and know better of their own status. And it has introduced AI capabilities to develop prediction models, analyze the possible future development trend of the epidemic, to realize dynamic factor adjustment and the ability of self-predicting the epidemic. Individual users can inquire about their own itinerary, the possibility of virus user contact, and regional risks through their mobile phone number, and understand the risk in real time. The products are currently used by more than 10 million people. They are promoted by China Telecom as a key application service product serving the public in relevant provinces and cities. This app also have a function of epidemic prediction. The main data that the infectious disease dynamic model relies on all from authorities, which objectively describe the changing of the epidemic situation and provide a basis for epidemic prediction. The application has introduced an important factor, population mobility. As population mobility is the main factor in the development of the infectious disease, the OIDD data is used to calculate the frequency of population mobility and to optimize the prediction accuracy of the model. So the common model include SI, SIR, SIRS, and SEIR models. The SEIR model is mainly used to predict the memory of infectious diseases with latent period, which is consistent with the characteristics of COVID-19. We have achieved the accuracy of more than 99% for existing confirmed case, and also more than 99% for the total confirmed case. So just now, Shen has mentioned about a similar app regarding the temperature detection. We integrated this function to our surveillance system through black body and infrared ray in the front-end devices to precisely detect the temperature and real-time alert software in the terminal devices to enable the real-time temperature tracking in areas with heavy traffic passenger flow, like train station, metro station, and entrance to shopping mall, etc. And mask recognition algorithm is implemented in certain scenario, like in a enclosed area that people are asked to wear masks to access in. It will send alert when the camera detects people are not wearing masks appropriately, and also when the density of people exceed the maximum value. And as well, we have a lot of other applications, which I will not go into detail. Some of them are interesting, like we have the M&E Business Office for people to subscribe to our services, and the 5G UAV M&E aero vehicle with thermometers and intelligent loudspeakers to patrol and find people with a fever and to remind people of no gathering. And we have a lot of other emerging applications. We have the M&E Business Office, the 5G UAV, and if you are interested, you could contact me for details. So this is all my presentation. Thank you for listening. And I would like to thank all my colleagues for help to gather the materials. And please feel free to contact me if you have any question or something you would like to have a further discussion. I'll try to answer them or forward them to our experts in particular areas. And you can also contact me if you are interested in machine vision associated standardization work. Thank you very much.